Shalom, shalom. I want to first start off giving all praise, honor, and glory. Call halal, Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rachak, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Aki and Morale, four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity, risking the lives and the freedom to do so. Shalom to the Aqua, and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, this edifying video. Shalom to the confusion of faith, brethren, join on to our ranks. Once again, shalom, shalom. This is the brother Yawasop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Yahweh Shah. And I'm still in the book, Mass Control, Engineering Human Consciousnness by Jim Keith. I started on chapter 5, and, I had to name it at various topics because I went off rambling and ranting and, just through the spirit moving, whatever was coming to mind. So I'm going to start at page 36, but before I do that, I have a scripture. This is out of the book of Isaiah, chapter 29. I'm going to start at verse 14. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among his Salakia. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work amongst this people. And that marvelous work is bringing us back to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of our heritage, waking us up to who we are. Even a marvelous work and a wonder, for the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent man shall be hid. Verse 15, woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? And who is that? That's the elite. That's those red Hebrew Edomites. Majority of the books I've been bringing out is talking about these secret councils, these secret projects they come up with, these secret technologies that they use against the same people that they say that they're supposed to be benefiting. That shows you how truly much this red Hebrew Edomite is the devil, because not only does he oppress, the children of Israel, but he oppresses his own people. This man is truly the devil. Verse 16, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? And at the end of the day, these red Hebrew Edomites are so much of the devil. They literally try to explain away the Most High, as if like they created themselves. So that scripture lined up perfectly. Because at the end of the day, you got Jake that falls into that lot too. Jake so bugged out. Jake can say that they gods up under this white man's tutelage, talking about we Egyptians or Hamitic, you know what I mean? And to show you how you got to be on the right path, because they didn't care when you was running around talking about you was an Egyptian and you Pharaoh and you young Seth and all that, you young Horus, Well, when you got to calling yourself, an Israelite, that's when it became an issue. So I'm starting at Salakia. I'm starting at page 36, and it says, one is reminded of the statement of XCI director, because this is chapter 5, injecting ideology. It says, one is reminded of the statement of ex-CIA director William Colby, although he was speaking specifically of the American intelligence community. Socially as well as professionally, they clicked together, forming a SEAL fraternity. They ate together at their own special favorite restaurants. They partied almost only among themselves, and families drifted to each other, so their defenses did not always have to be up. And, that's the spirit, because, Apostle Ramlan went into, or he brought out that show on Netflix, The Family. I got to watch the first episode, and when you watch it, it was like they put everything secondary to the brotherhood, to the little clique. And at the end of the day, on the left-hand side, and at the end of the day, that's what we, and the men in this truth, men of the hopeful elect, that's what we do. I've been in this truth for a minute now. I'm actually getting the chance to participate in a lot of the high holy days. This walk, like I said, once you realize, because at the end of the day, all you have is it's like how the Spartans was in 300. He said all you have is the man to your right, and you got to protect him. You know what I mean? And in this thing, that's how it kind of set up like. So it just kind of clicked in my head when I seen that, because it was like everything came secondary to what they were doing in that show, The Family, and that's how it is in the truth on the right hand side, though. You know what I mean? Because you got to remember, it's polar opposites to a certain extent. Like I was telling one of the younger brothers, and when you sit back, because one day I was just observing, it seems like every high holy day you got one of Esau's bullshit ass holidays. When you take time to really think about it, like it's always, it might not be that same day or the next day, but it's around that same time. You know what I mean? Because everything is a balance. You get what I'm saying? So continue. It says, in this way, they increasingly separate themselves from the ordinary world and develop a rather skewed view of the world. And ours isn't skewed. At the end of the day, when you look at it, I mean, like, we prisoners of hope. I mean, like, at the end of the day, we see the world for what it is. And if you a man truly in this thing, you sincere, you can't stand, this place that you in. So is death or kingdom or death, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, any man that's sincere about this thing doesn't want to go back in the world. If me, after going through all this and you go back in the world, I mean, that's like, I ain't gonna compare it to like the fate of Judas, but I mean, like, that's kind of fucked up fate, you know what I mean? Like, after the end of the day, after enduring all the trials and tribulations and the struggles, and then to go back, you know what I mean? Like, that's a horrible ending, you get what I mean? It says their own dedicated double life became the proper norm, and they looked down on the life of the rest of the citizenry. According to author G. William Domhoff, in the higher circles, the power elite have created and developed that wonderful field of public relations on an incredible scale. Some of the early practitioners of this art helped scrub up the images of the robber baron families. Others specialized in the corporate image and the corporate consciousness. Functionally speaking, the public relations departments of large corporations, in conjunction with the giant public relations firms that service many corporations, have become the early warning systems of the upper class, picking up and countering the slightest remark or publication that makes funny lines on their sensitive radar. Thanks to them, public opinion is well monitored with an assist, of course, from the alert social scientists in certain universities, institutes financed by the big corporations and foundations. And at the end of the day, it's just showing you how simple-minded most people are. Bear with me for a second, because it goes back to like how Donald Trump, and not just Donald Trump, but the media, and that's why we call this man, his media. A lot of the things he do, this manipulation, is witchcraft, is sorcery. You know what I mean? Like with the Colin Kaepernick thing, which I could give a fuck less about. Just like I could give a fuck less about Bill Cosby being locked up. I mean, it make you feel some kind of way because, of course he's a fellow Israelite, but at the same time, that man grew rich and he spoke up against certain things at certain times, but then the majority of the time he browbeat and disrespected his own people. He lived amongst them Edomites for so long, he forgot that he a Jake. And they showed him at the end, and that's the fear of the Most High, you know what I mean? Just like with the Kevin Hart shit. Like, I could give a fuck less. If he'd have died in that bitch, I probably would have laughed for real. You know what I mean? We were talking about how spiritual that was. Because at the end of the day, the Most High let him get up to a certain height. That dude probably will never be the same after that. They're talking about major back surgery. But that's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, like with the Colin Kaepernick thing, at the end of the day, that man, at the end of the day, never really, I mean, the issue wasn't about him disrespecting the country. The issue was about him talking about the injustices happening to his people. But then what they don't tell you is this: why you're supposed to be feeling all sorry for him. He actually sued the NFL and won. You know what I mean? Like, so what the fuck is you worried about him working for? With at the end of the day, he got that dude ain't hurt in no kind of fucking way. This is the book of Proverbs 14, verse 15. The simple believe every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. Verse 16, a wise man feareth and departed from evil, but the fool rageth and is confident. And at the end of the day, the simple believe every word. Like I said, that's why you got these politicians, not just these politicians, because you got like these fucking, like, what's that dude, TD Jakes, that was up there. The fuck is a pastor up there with a president for? You ever see that video with, like, I think they was in court and TD Jakes and Bush Jr. is looking at him like TD Jake about to tell on the whole secret society, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like they just talk about Creflo Dollar, talk about if it ain't about money, it ain't about God. Like, they just literally, that's how ooh, a lot of people got a horrible judgment coming, because at the end you got these scriptures in you got these scriptures coming, or the scriptures like are basic. I mean, if you just took the time to read, but most people don't. It tells you in scripture, study to show thyself approved. But Jake's so lazy, they want to wait to have somebody tell them instead of doing it themselves. I'm gonna stop there.